all you amazing people to Beyond the Console, episode 9. We're getting up there, man.
We are.
We're getting up there.
We're doing it.
We're doing it. I'm your host, Upsetting Hood, and joined by...
I'm your host, Joshua. Oh, wow. Wait. Yeah, that's right. You almost made me say my gamer tag.
You good?
I'm good.
You good?
I think so. It's another late night podcast.
It's late night. We're getting a little crazy here. But
we are.
It's okay, because...
Joshua J. That's who I am.
There we go. He found himself.
He
Found himself just like some of these other people. Well, some of these lovely people here. He found himself. But yeah, episode 9, we're back talking about, once again, kind of a spoiler cast. An amazing game called Detroit Become Human. Man.
Well, it's not really a spoiler cast.
It's not really.
Because we haven't finished it the entire way. We'll bring you that later.
Yeah, but there'll probably be some spoilers.
Very minuscule. We want to save that for later.
We'll be nice this time.
But not next time.
Not next time. Next time, cruel and unforgiving. Just like Detroit. Anyway, so jumping right into it, I guess first of all, what do you think about this game?
Well, to be honest, I was skeptical. I was excited for it. I was super hyped, but then I heard some reviews, and it kind of brought my expectations down. So when I played it, it really spoke to me in a way that I didn't expect a game to. Starting off mainly with the front menu screen.
Literally spoke to him.
Very, very interactive. Very interactive.
It's a very interactive
Chloe
menu.
is very interactive. It's cool.
Yep. It's very cool.
So
and freaky.
I don't know, when I watched when I opened it up and she started talking, like we were playing one night and she's like, "Man, you got to bed late. I hope you had enough sleep." And it's like,
what?
That's creepy.
Well,
and then we turned it on Friday and it was like, "Hey, what a great way to start off the weekend." It's just
it's a very unique game.
It really is. Like, you sit there at the menu screen going, what is she going to say next? Like, just for the fun of it. She'll ask you surveys. She asks if you're your friend. Do you want to continue with the game? Or just leave it how it is.
She makes you feel bad about your choices.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in the spoiler cast for sure. But it's a fun game. My first impressions when I jumped in was walking simulator. Here we go. Let's have some fun.
Walking Simulator 2018.
Yeah, and then when I started playing it, I really started falling in love with the characters. It made certain choices very difficult, made others very easy. It is definitely not what I'm doing right now. It's definitely not how I want my story to end. But when you make choices, you stick by those choices. Yes, there's a choice that we can't talk about in this episode. We'll talk about next episode that I had to revert. I couldn't stand the choice. It wasn't someone dying. I could handle that. It was something, in my opinion, much, much worse. Talk about that next time.
So much I want to say about that.
But
we'll talk about that later. He's not getting
that being said, the game I would recommend to everybody. Obviously, there's language in it and things like that. That's in every game. But it's rated M, so it makes sense.
So it is what it's rated.
Mature audience.
Don't take your kids to go see Deadpool. What?
Wait, what?
What?
Moving on.
I'm making a parallel here. It's like I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's a great game. It's fantastic. It's definitely one of those games, in my opinion, that when you play it, you go, this could happen. And it could be relatively soon. I really do believe that. I think we're on the verge of pushing it, but it also addresses real world issues that we would come across with these androids. And notice how there's androids in the iPhone? Or Apple anything? Apple nothing. Android all the way. See?
Android all the way. Boom.
Anyway.
Boom.
That's, yes, Android. Okay, so now that all the iTunes users are out there and we've been talking about putting it on iTunes podcast, yay, we ruined that.
What's the Android version? We're putting on the Play Store. That's not right.
Google Play.
Google Play. There we go.
Like
but no, that's good to hear. My first impressions were like, just going back even all the way back. When was it? E3 2016. is when they first did that trailer of the.
Wow.
Yeah, that's 2 years ago. It's crazy, and like that's one of those games they did the demo for it's like the first level, I think, the first mission in the game, the hostage on the roof, and like I saw it and I was blown away. I'm like, man, I have to get that game when it comes out. And now 2 years later,
time flies when you're playing games.
Yeah, it's more than just a game beyond the console. Anyway, but no, yeah. Then 2 years later, I don't want to say I forgot about it, but I kind of forgot about it. And then it was like, oh, coming out this weekend. So I got it and, popped it in and was blown away.
It really is a fantastic game.
Yeah.
So, what's your favorite character?
My favorite character? We have these lovely people here. My favorite character, without a doubt, is Connor. My name's Connor. He's pretty cool. He's pretty awesome. He's my boy. He's awesome. What about you? Who's your favorite?
So, Connor, like you, is my favorite character, but my favorite story would have to be Alice and Ellie. Wait, what is it, Ellie?
Ellie's from The Last of Us.
I'm getting.
Woo.
Yeah. It's late night. What's your name again?
Alice is the girl. Kara is the
Kara.
Kara.
Oh my god.
Kara.
Yeah.
Like Supergirl. Kara.
So Kara and Alice, that's my favorite story. It's very deep. It's very emotional.
For some more than others.
And yeah, I'll talk about that next. When we do the spoiler cast of Detroit, you guys are gonna get a very big hit. It's dust is in the air.
His house, the studio is very dusty.
Yeah, it's gonna be great though. Oh my gosh, the like we said, it's not going exactly how we wanted it to go. But when you make a choice and
for the one time that you actually, so when you actually do go through with your choices, even though you don't always, it
was one choice.
Anyway, no. So Connor's your favorite. You said that Alice. I keep wanting to say
Kara.
Ellie now because you messed me up.
Kara,
you got me.
Yeah, Kara.
Yeah. Alice and Kara's your favorite. Yeah. Which, without giving away spoilers, because we'll save those for the spoiler cast. Which story was? Which one did you connect with? Which one affected you the most so far, at least? Which one really just personally affected you the most?
It would have to be Kara's.
Kara's, yeah.
When she finds the girl, and when she realizes the girl's getting abused by her father. And you step in, like, right from right there, it's just go time. It's protect her at all costs, which is what kind of reminds me of The Last of Us, where he's, like, protecting the girl. It just...
And when...
It's that instinct. And I like how they used a girl to protect the little girl. It wasn't like they really... Yeah. I like the way they went with that.
And when, without spoilers, and when, you get later in the game and you realize other things, it really makes you look at the beginning a whole different way.
It really does.
There's things that happen and you're like, well, now the beginning is a completely different thing. Like, it's...
Well, in all the stories, it starts to make you question, if we were to ever really have androids, how would we treat them?
Yeah.
It makes me question... Before, I was like, they're machines, they're androids. And don't get me wrong, I don't believe that androids and machines can have a soul, can have feelings. But... I would go as far to say that they can understand things. I think that they will evolve into being able to understand emotion in sense of, if you look at me a certain way, they would analyze the way your facial structure has just, contoured, if that's the right word.
Yeah, changed and shifted so that...
They would have been like, oh, he is like 80% upset, 10% happy, or 5% confused, and 5% just mad. Like, they would be able to do that, and based off the numbers, they'd know how to react.
And they'll get so advanced, even though they don't actually feel those things, they can, like, simulate it. It's like they're reacting to those things because that's how they...
And we gotta be careful, because otherwise we'll think that they have feelings when in reality they really don't. I don't think it's possible for them to feel that emotional pain like we would feel. They might be able to simulate it, but I don't think they can feel it.
No.
That being said...
Really makes you...
We fall in love with video game characters.
Yeah.
Who's to say we won't fall in love with android characters like that? When they are there, we can touch it, we can hold, we can, it's just one of those things. It's crazy the way it's going.
So
And
deep.
this game,
It's so deep. We're not even done yet, and
this game is more of a what's our future gonna look like rather than hey, this is a video game, have fun. No, I think this is a precursor. Call me crazy to what's gonna happen.
it very well could. Hopefully, not everything that happens in this game will happen because
I don't know. The future is coming. Space Force is on its way.
Joshua J, did you know the future? Wait, how'd that go? The future. I'm trying to remember how it went.
Are you talking about Space Force?
No.
Oh.
No.
We gotta talk about Space Force in this episode. It kind of goes with all the future stuff.
Space Force. The things that are happening. I don't know where I was going with that. There was some joke there to be made, and I messed it up because I forget how to say it.
Awesome. Space Force. Can I say something about that real quick?
What is Space Force?
You didn't hear Donald Trump talk about Space Force?
Oh. No.
Okay, so the president came out. Most of you guys already know this. This is a week and a half old. Came out and said that he wanted to create a Space Force.
Oh no.
And
I
it's
saw
going to
that.
be equal but separate from the Air Force.
I saw that. Yeah.
A lot of people are kind of like making fun. Now, this has been talked about since like 1998.
This is
Or
the thing.
maybe before.
Probably.
But-
They tried to. They legit had things. They were, I don't know if it was in the 90s or 80s, where they built entire little like bubble things. They were trying to get to where they could support life on Mars, and so they actually made like bubble, little
Colony
towns,
things?
like
Yeah.
colonies to test it, and it didn't work, of course, and supposedly they shut it down. But like they've been doing stuff like that for a long time.
Well, it's like, okay, so the reason I think Space Force would work and like the colonies and that, when we were in a war, we made an atomic bomb. We dropped the atomic bomb on Japan, and the world went, whoa, they just stepped up, and now Russia wants bombs, China wants bombs, Japan wants bombs. Everybody wants their own nukes now, right? So everybody's building bigger and better nukes, and then the nuclear arms race happened, the Cold War happened, and people were tense. War advances technology and civilization to an extent. I'm not saying war is good, don't misunderstand me, but I'm saying it pushes a narrative, right? It pushes something. So if Trump, no matter how stupid it sounds, says, we're going to build a Space Force so we can protect all the money we send into space, they just announced that they spend $7 billion a year on unknown spacecraft. That's the money that they say, hey, this is what we spent. Not the money that actually probably goes to it. Now, don't get me wrong. You guys are like, oh, conspiracy theorists. I thought we were gaming. It all ties in. Hang on. Just let me tie it all
It's
in.
more than just a game.
When Trump says, hey, Space Force, here we go. We're going to build it. And we start testing weapons. We start trying to figure out how to do things in space. And we go back to that. China and Russia aren't just going to sit there going, oh, they want to take space. Let them have it. No. They're going to be going, crap, we got to get back in this. And then China is going to go, we need our own Space Force. And Russia's going to be like, hey, we need our own Space Force. And then I know that was a crappy Russian accent. I apologize to all of you. I wasn't even trying to do a China one. Yeah, I'm not going to try and do a China one. So, it's late.
Oh, ooh.
I'm
Get
not
lit.
responsible for anything I say and or do after 11 o'clock at night.
It's
So-
not 11 o'clock. Don't listen to him.
You're right, it's almost midnight. Late night podcast. It's been a long day.
It's
But,
yeah.
So, like I was saying though, Space Force is this, Russia's going to want one, China's going to want one, we're trying to build one, and it'll be almost another Cold War for the space colonization. And that will advance.
technology.
And I think that could be a very good, how would you say, like, distraction from some of the things going on around us. This Russia colluded with all these, whatever. Let's get away from that. It's behind us. All right? No matter what side people are on, and I don't try and bring politics into anything, I really don't. No matter what side you're on, we need to focus on the greater good, right? We need to expand. We're not meant to just like flatten and just plateau in our progression. Things are getting bigger, better. Games are getting more intense and more real. We need to advance our technology
We need to rock it
faster
up.
and better than
We need to
ever have.
rocket that technology up like space.
Elon Musk is trying to do that. Send people to Mars. You know, it'd be great.
2050.
It would be amazing to actually have a space force. And I know, again, people think, well, that's stupid and crazy. It's not that far-fetched. We thought it was crazy. If you told someone back in 1920, hey, we're going to have cell phones, internet, YouTube, like, they would laugh and be like, that would never happen.
We're going to have flying cars.
What? We don't have them right now.
Yeah, we do. It's a thing.
I mean, with wings and they're pretty much planes.
It's still a thing. It's called flying cars.
So,
but we're going to have VR.
But if you told someone like, yeah, man, I can just hit buttons on a device, call you, and it sends it through the air, they wouldn't believe it. See, that's the thing about technology is it takes people that come up with crazy ideas to make it work.
Yeah.
You know? And so with Detroit Become Human, I feel like it was made by people that see and look into the future in their minds and say, this is what I think and believe is possible. And they are very, very much right. Now, the whole moral and things like that on this game are different, obviously, depending on whether you believe in soul and heaven and God and a spiritual being, all those things, beliefs play into it a part. But the whole idea behind technology is so crazily advancing, and this game really brings that out. That's what I love about this game. It really gets you going, this is possible. It's not just a futuristic game with flying cars, floating cities, but it's a game set in the future where it goes, this is a very real possibility. Yeah.
It's crazy. Man, that was deep. It was such a deep tangent.
Sorry. Yeah.
It's late night. It's late night.
This podcast is about Detroit Become Human, but like it's always said, it's beyond the console. We go, we expand. It's not just a game anymore. It's technology. It's the future. It's advancement. It's Space Force. Enlist today. I want you in my next Space Force.
It's gonna be a meme. It's gonna be a thing now.
Oh, dude.
Beyond the console. I want you.
We can't pay you.
We can't. No. But we should probably take this moment to plug our sponsor. We don't have our normal sponsor here, but we're going to plug ourselves. Beyond the Console. Woo! Check us out. Facebook, Twitter, hopefully. Yeah, awesome. YouTube, you're already here, most likely. Unless you're listening to this on SoundCloud or iTunes.
Then go to YouTube.
And go to YouTube because you're not seeing our wonderful faces and our awesome setup.
Well, I don't know if they're wonderful.
I mean, one of them is.
Oh, thanks, Chase. I appreciate that.
No. Okay. Email us, beyondtheconsoleq@gmail.com. Leave us suggestions what to do in the comments below.
And I will say we are coming from the Samtastic Studios. Go to him for all your video and audio needs.
Boom. Check him out on all the socials. All that good stuff.
It's great. Samtastic Sam.
Samtastic.
It's great.
Yeah, great that's our best plug for tonight. But yeah, going back to Detroit.
So, without spoiling it, what has been your favorite mission?
My favorite mission.
Does there have to be a little bit of a spoiler? And it can be a huge spoiler because everything can be so hugely different. It'd be very hard to get the exact gameplay that he's got.
What I experienced, you may never even experience any of that. Like, it's crazy. I'm trying to think what would be my favorite, because there's a couple different levels here, because there's like when it's like epic and like so hype, or when it's, wow, that was really good, like that was deep, man, or you're like, man, you feel bad, different things like that. If we're going straight up hype, I'd say minor spoiler.
Okay.
Probably minor spoiler, because I'll be very vague on why or what the details are. And it may not even happen to you. It probably will. Maybe. Actually, no. It might not. But no, probably in terms of the hype level, I was just like, oh, this is nuts. This is crazy. Is the battle of epic proportion and scale in the middle of the city.
Okay, so there's a point where one of your characters can get in a battle with police. Is that what you're talking about?
Police? What are you talking about? Maybe not. Yeah,
you can mention that.
It's
that's
yes,
being
the
very
one
vague.
the very There's a very epic, huge battle. Let me just say, when there's a fight, those button presses mean everything. Like, you could die. You could die if you don't swipe left. That's another thing about this game. This is the most inventive game I've ever played in terms of how you use a controller. Like, in fights, you have to, like, turn it to dodge, or you're swiping, or you're doing all this stuff. It's crazy. But yeah.
The only thing that I have to say about that, I wish they made it a little bit more accessible for, like, those with, like, one arm or something like that wanted to play games, but it'd be very difficult.
It would. You definitely
to be able
you need both hands.
Yeah, and it is definitely one of those things where it'd be hard to do that if, you know, you only had the one hand. I'm not sure. I haven't checked the controls, but I would hope that they have added emails beyondtheconsoleq@gmail.com. If they have a control system where you can actually change to make it
they might
better for that.
And it could be because there are 2 difficulty levels, and obviously we both chose the harder one where, you know, it says, you know, your choices are much more, they affect a lot more things.
Your characters can die.
So it could be that the easier difficulty is not as involved.
Actually, that's not true. Because I did want to figure that part out, and that just pretty much, it doesn't make the controls easier. It just literally means your characters can't die. It just helps you avoid the death of characters.
That's kind of lame. It's almost like doing that would almost be like replaying a level when you didn't want to live with your choices.
It'd be more of playing every single level in a game of, like, The Last of Us, where you know you can't choose. It takes away your ability to choose.
Aye. But no, yeah, favorite level, the epic. Brushing it off, moving on.
Brushing it off.
You know who else got brushed off something? Spoilers, never mind. Can't talk about that.
My story's better than your story.
My story's epic. I don't know what you're talking about. My story's lit. Had the epic battle. You have to admit, you gotta admit that mine was cooler with a certain person that was involved in the battle. It
was cooler in a sense, but
I
feel like I made the right choices, though.
Who's the leader? And
actually, I am.
And who got the girl?
Actually, I did too.
No, I got more.
I'm working on
dialogue. So
I'm working on it.
No, it's not gonna happen. You're gonna fail. It's not gonna happen.
Spoilers are gonna be in the next Troy podcast.
Yeah.
But
so without spoilers, then what was your favorite level?
Oh my gosh, I would probably have to say. I would probably say one of my favorite levels is where, and it's going to sound crazy, but this is where everything really turned around. There's a point where you walk into a gentleman's club. There's nothing shown, in case you're wondering, for lack of better terms. It's a gentleman's club. And you had to find this deviant who has killed someone there, and so you're looking around doing all these things, and you know, you can find them, you might not find them. It all depends on how you do things. But at one moment, there's minor spoilers here. You're wrestling with them, and you're fighting, and one of the deviants, which is the name for android that is getting emotion and feels and wants free will, has free will. She runs at you, and your character pulls out a gun and aims at her, and it says, shoot or don't shoot. And it happened so quick, and I was just like, I can't do it. And I clicked no. And that was the beginning of my destabilization as an android. And I was supposed to hunt down these deviants. And that's when I realized I'm starting to become deviant myself. Because I've tried to play according to how they would actually act. And so in that moment...
And that's the way to play it.
In that moment, I made that quick moment decision without thinking, and that was my instinct. And that's when I realized he's starting to not be deviant anymore. And it was amazing. And I didn't shoot, and I think I made the right choice there. And it was something that led to more choices and
more spoilers and more things that
it was just definitely a big turning point for one of my characters in that moment, personally.
For sure.
Now people can have turning points before then, after then. It all depends on how you play it. But for me, that was my main turning point. So that was probably one of my favorite missions.
Okay.
It's tied right up there with one of the missions we've just played when we're in the safe house area. And everybody, like all three characters, kind of meet.
That was hype.
That was probably...
Okay, so, there's three characters, main characters. Seeing how those three stories and characters that you've been playing separately combined, intertwined, and connected, literally, no joke, got me more hyped than Avengers Infinity War. Like, in terms of seeing the characters come together, I was just... It's crazy how they connect.
And now they could not. You could have one of your characters die in the very first mission.
And I can't talk about it until spoiler cast.
It's crazy.
That hype was only slightly ruined by certain things that I can't talk about.
The end of the episode sucked
because I'm sad. But yeah, no, it's...
that's not really a spoiler. You can say, don't say any names of characters or anything like that, but you can say what happened because they know characters can. All
I will say is that, at a certain point, made some hard calls. I was like, I don't know if I should do this, and I did. I went with it, kept going, and then made another decision, and I lost someone. And it's crazy how this game makes you think, because then going back over, I was like, if I had done this other thing before, I very well could have I could have survived.
Avoided it.
I could have avoided it. And it's really, it does a good job of you see, just like, that's another thing, at the end of each level, you see the tree of choices you made and different paths you could have gone. And as the game you get deeper and deeper in the game, you see, you did this, 3 hours ago. 3 hours ago in terms of where you played the story. Gameplay. And that affected this. And now because you did that, this didn't happen, or it did happen. And so it really, you have full control. It really makes you feel you have full control. Anything can happen.
Yeah, and certain things are locked, and if you don't do them, it doesn't say, "Oh, you could have done this." No. It just isn't there, and you just go, "What could I have done to change that?"
And if
we both lost characters in that episode,
and if you're not paying attention, you could miss the opportunity to have something happen that you wanted to happen. It happened to me, and then the other outcome happens, and you're like, "Oh man, I could have changed that."
It really does make you feel like you have control of a game, and it is amazing. And congratulations. To
the developer, which I, for some reason, don't know.
Blanket on it, let's look. It's right here.
Oh, we're going off script here, but that's okay.
Quantic Dream. That's it. Quantic Dream.
That's right.
They did such a good job with this game, and it blew my mind. It blew my mind.
Kudos to the actors that did motion capture and voice acting for it.
I will say, not Connor, but. Marcus, thank you. I was thinking of
Luther.
So Marcus, his story to me felt a little pushed.
It felt, I will say, and this is more reasons. We can't talk about reasons why until the spoiler cast, but yeah, for me it started out. I wasn't into it. I was like, his was the most separate. I didn't see how it really tied in. It was kind of slow to me. It wasn't as good until closer to the end, and I felt like then it was almost, I liked it better than some others. It got a lot better.
I feel like, to me, it could have been one of those stories. He has a good storyline, but I sucked with his storyline, but yet the way they wanted him to be was pushed on me, and I felt that. I didn't feel like I was making the choices correctly,
I can see
but yet the game forced it to work out anyway, and I didn't like that. Because you made a lot of good choices, I made a lot of wrong choices, and based off of what happened, it just didn't go how I wanted it to. I feel like they could have easily done, which is Kara and Connor's story, had Marcus's story be more of a cutscene, and have him be one of the main people of not playable characters, but the more AI characters.
It could have been, but then you have, there were some pretty epic moments.
There was epic moments.
Split-second choices.
There really was good choices. I'm just saying, the way that his storyline played out, I really didn't.
Which, for you, it may be different for someone else.
And you're right. And you're right. But the way, the way the game forced certain things on you, I just didn't care for too much.
Yeah.
But anyway, like I said, Quantic Dream, great job for the
Fantastic
game.
job.
Loved it. It was amazing.
I mean, we're not even done with it yet.
All of you guys need to go play that. Man,
Play
I'm
it.
gonna play some more tonight, dude. It's late.
It's gonna be a
but I
bad
have to.
idea, but it's gonna happen. It's just
gonna happen. We
yeah.
gotta get content for
We gotta get content
when
for
we
you
do
guys.
episode 2 of Detroit Part 2.
Part 2, Detroit 12.
2.0.
It's
Is that what you're trying to say?
maybe, I don't know. It's late.
It is.
It's late night. It's fine though, because we roll the punches here beyond the console.
It's not just a game anymore, folks. You want to close this out? You're the host.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. It's not just a game anymore, folks. Like he said. I've been your host. I'm Stephen Hood.
I'm your co-host, Joshua J.
Hey, you got it right this time.
I did
You
it.
didn't mess up. There you go. Boom.
Boom.
Pound it.
Roasted.
Awesome. But yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to check out our previous episodes if you haven't seen them. Make sure to subscribe, share with your friends. It's been a great episode. Great talking with you guys about this game. Tune in next time for our spoiler cast. It's gonna be amazing. Once again, this has been your co-host,
Joshua J.
and my name is Connor.